For many older men, especially those who cherish women and long for deeper connections, relationships in later life can sometimes feel less fulfilling than once imagined. Despite years of experience, many find that their relationships with women have lost the spark they once had or seem to lack the emotional depth that creates lasting fulfillment. However, the truth is that it's never too late to transform your approach to love, to reawaken passion, and to create intimate bonds that are both meaningful and enriching. In today's exploration, we delve into powerful lessons every man over 50 needs to understand about intimacy, emotional connection, and authenticity. These lessons provide a blueprint for nurturing a love life that grows more profound with each passing year. The true depth of intimacy, beyond the physical. As we grow older, the nature of intimacy evolves significantly. It becomes far more than a mere physical act. Instead, intimacy transforms into a language, a silent, powerful conversation that speaks to the heart and soul. For many men in their later years, the challenge lies not in attracting a partner, but in forging a deep, meaningful connection that transcends superficial encounters. Intimacy, in its truest sense, is an affirmation of mutual respect, trust, and vulnerability. It is the gentle art of saying, "I see you, I value you, I cherish you," without uttering a single word. For women, particularly those who have journeyed through the complexities of life, this emotional dimension of intimacy is a sacred language, a way to express love, to be heard, and to be understood. In relationships where intimacy is appreciated for its full emotional and physical spectrum, both partners experience a bond that grows richer and more layered over time. The emotional weight of intimacy. One of the most common mistakes men often make is underestimating the emotional weight that intimacy carries. When intimacy is viewed solely as an expression of physical desire, it risks becoming a shallow performance that overlooks the necessity of emotional safety and genuine connection. For many women, intimacy is as much about feeling secure and emotionally validated as it is about physical pleasure. It is an exchange that must honor both partners' vulnerabilities and desires. Imagine a quiet evening when, rather than focusing on the mechanics of physical connection, the emphasis shifts toward sharing dreams, recounting memories, or simply holding each other in silence. These are the moments when intimacy reveals its true beauty, a beauty that is defined not by fleeting physical sensations, but by a profound sense of being truly known and accepted. For older men seeking to nurture this kind of intimacy, it becomes essential to listen to unspoken cues and to validate their partner's feelings, ensuring that every touch, every embrace, reinforces the sacred bond between two hearts. Authenticity speaks louder than words. In the realm of relationships, authenticity is a treasure. As we age, we come to realize that words, while they can be comforting, are only as good as the actions that back them up. For many women in later life, the desire for authenticity is not a fleeting trend, but a fundamental need. They yearn for a partner whose every word aligns with his actions, a man who demonstrates his commitment through thoughtful, consistent gestures rather than grand, empty declarations. Consider the quiet power of a handwritten note left on the kitchen table, a sincere compliment that isn't just flattery but a true recognition of her inner beauty, or the simple act of listening without interrupting as she shares her day. These acts, though seemingly small, speak volumes. They confirm that you value her, that you are present, and that you are willing to invest in the relationship with genuine care. In contrast, even the most eloquent promises ring hollow if they are not matched by consistent, caring behavior. Aligning words and deeds. For many older men, the journey toward authentic connection involves aligning every word with meaningful action. It's about letting go of the need for grand romantic gestures and instead embracing the beauty of subtle, everyday affirmations of love. Authenticity comes from being true to yourself and, more importantly, true to your partner. It is reflected in how you share your time, how you offer support in times of need, and how you honor her boundaries and evolving desires. When authenticity permeates a relationship, it creates a powerful synergy. The partner who feels truly seen and appreciated is more likely to open up, to share her fears and dreams, and to engage in an honest dialogue about the future. For the older man, this authenticity is a reminder that true connection is built not on the surface, but on the deep, often unspoken bond that grows stronger with every sincere act of kindness. Listening. The art of active engagement. One of the most transformative lessons in intimacy is the art of listening. Genuine, active listening is not merely waiting for your turn to speak. It's about fully engaging with your partner, acknowledging her thoughts and feelings without judgment. In many relationships, especially those affected by the rush of daily life, meaningful conversations are rare. Yet, it is in these quiet moments of shared vulnerability that the deepest connections are forged. Imagine sitting together in a softly lit room, where the only sound is the gentle cadence of your partner's voice as she recounts the events of her day or reflects on her innermost thoughts. In that space where interruptions and distractions are set aside, listening becomes an act of love. It is an affirmation that her feelings matter and that you are there to support her no matter what. For women, who often have an acute sense for unspoken emotions, this level of attentiveness is both healing and empowering. The power of presence. Being truly present means more than just hearing the words. It means embracing the silences, the pauses, and the subtle shifts in tone that reveal the unspoken. This empathetic engagement creates a dynamic where both partners feel valued and understood. For older men, learning to be present in this way can transform the nature of intimacy from a mechanical interaction into a rich, shared experience. It's about allowing your partner to feel safe enough to express her true self, without the fear of being judged or dismissed. Active listening is a continuous practice. It requires patience, empathy, and the willingness to sometimes let the conversation meander without a clear agenda. This is the kind of engagement that fosters trust and cements the bond between partners, turning everyday interactions into opportunities for growth and mutual understanding. Shared growth. Nurturing a connection that evolves. Relationships are living entities. They grow, evolve, and sometimes even change direction over time. For older men and their partners, this shared journey of growth is one of the most enriching aspects of intimacy. The idea that relationships settle into a static routine is a myth that can rob a partnership of its vibrancy. Instead, each day offers a fresh chance to nurture the spark and to build upon the foundation of shared experiences. Imagine a couple who, after decades together, still find joy in learning something new about each other. Whether it's exploring a new hobby, traveling to unfamiliar destinations, or simply reflecting on the lessons learned over the years, this sense of shared evolution keeps the relationship alive and dynamic. For a woman, the realization that her partner is committed to growing alongside her, rather than simply coasting on past glories, is profoundly attractive. It speaks to a future filled with possibility, where both partners are active participants in a journey of mutual discovery. Overcoming the pitfalls of routine. It's all too easy to fall into a predictable pattern where the relationship becomes routine and unremarkable. Yet, routine need not equate to monotony. The key is to recognize that every day holds the potential for connection if approached with mindfulness and intentionality. For older men, this might mean setting aside time for regular, uninterrupted conversations, planning small surprises that acknowledge the beauty of the everyday, or simply taking a walk together and reminiscing about shared memories. These efforts may seem minor, but they serve as powerful reminders that the relationship is a living, breathing entity that thrives on continual care and attention. When both partners actively participate in the process of growing together, the relationship becomes a collaborative masterpiece, a tapestry woven from countless moments of joy, understanding, and shared vulnerability. This approach not only revitalizes the bond between them, but also creates a sense of anticipation and excitement about what the future holds. Cultivating respect and emotional safety. Mutual respect is not a luxury. It is the bedrock of any thriving relationship. For many older couples, particularly those who have navigated the complexities of life and love, respect is the unspoken promise that both partners will honor each other's individuality and personal boundaries. For women, feeling respected is synonymous with feeling safe, valued, and worthy of love. For older men, cultivating this respect means understanding that intimacy is not about asserting control or dominance, but about creating a balanced dynamic where each person feels equally empowered. Imagine a relationship where both partners consistently prioritize each other's well-being, where decisions are made through thoughtful dialogue rather than unilateral actions. In such a setting, respect is evident in the small gestures: a hand gently placed on the shoulder, a thoughtful pause before speaking, or the willingness to admit mistakes and learn from them. These behaviors signal that you value her not merely as a partner, but as an individual with her own dreams, fears, and desires. Embracing the richness of golden years. Intimacy, growing older, does not signify the end of passion. It heralds the beginning of a more profound form of intimacy. In the golden years, intimacy is no longer about performance metrics or youthful exuberance. Instead, it is about cherishing shared moments, whether that means holding hands during a quiet walk, laughing over a fond memory, or simply sitting together in comfortable silence. This redefined intimacy is rooted in decades of shared experiences, a history that has weathered storms and celebrated victories. It is a love that is measured not by physical feats, but by the quiet, enduring moments that speak to the depth of the connection. For many older men, rediscovering intimacy in this way is a transformative journey. It is an invitation to look beyond surface-level attractions and to embrace a love that is as much about the soul as it is about the body. When intimacy is reimagined in this manner, it offers both partners the chance to experience a sense of closeness that is rich in meaning and layered with history. A closeness that nourishes the spirit and fortifies the bond between them. The power of being present. The secret to maintaining the spark of intimacy in later years lies in the simple yet profound act of being fully present. To truly connect with a partner, one must be attuned not only to the spoken words, but also to the silent rhythms of the heart. This presence is cultivated through mindfulness, a commitment to actively engage with each moment as it unfolds. Whether it is during a shared meal, a quiet conversation, or an intimate embrace, being present means immersing yourself in the experience without distractions or the weight of past regrets. This mindful engagement has a transformative effect on the relationship. It allows both partners to experience each other in a raw, unfiltered manner, creating a space where love can flourish free from the constraints of routine or expectation. When every shared moment is treasured, the relationship becomes a series of precious memories, each one a testament to the beauty of living and loving fully in the present. Transforming relationships in your golden years. As we reach the conclusion of our exploration, it is clear that relationships in later life have the potential to be more fulfilling, more dynamic, and more deeply rooted in mutual respect than ever before. The lessons outlined here: understanding the true depth of intimacy, speaking authenticity through both words and actions, actively listening and engaging, embracing shared growth, and nurturing a foundation of respect and emotional safety, offer a roadmap to transforming your love life. These insights are not mere theoretical musings, but practical strategies that can reshape your relationships and enrich your golden years. For any older man who has felt that his relationships with women have lost their spark, or become less fulfilling, there is a profound opportunity to reinvent intimacy. It begins with a willingness to reflect on what truly matters, not just the physical or the superficial, but the emotional, the intellectual, and the spiritual. By approaching your relationship with renewed authenticity, you create a dynamic where both partners feel cherished, understood, and valued. What women truly value: sincerity over perfection. In relationships, especially those in later years, women do not seek perfection. They understand that no one is flawless, and the idea of a perfect partner is a fantasy. What they value above all else is sincerity. Women crave authenticity in their relationships, and they long for their partners to be genuine about their feelings, thoughts, and desires. When a man is honest about his emotions, attentive to her needs, and willing to put in the effort to nurture the relationship, it creates a profound sense of security. This type of trust is the foundation of a lasting bond, one that can endure the passage of time and weather the ups and downs of life. On the other hand, even the smallest emotional games or evasive behaviors can quickly unravel the delicate fabric of trust. Small, seemingly inconsequential actions can be perceived as a lack of interest, leading to feelings of insecurity or neglect. As trust erodes, so does the emotional connection between partners. In relationships that span many years, where the emotional bond has been built through shared experiences, losing that connection is devastating. Once trust is broken, it can feel like climbing an uphill battle to restore it, and in some cases, the damage may be irreversible. The key to maintaining that connection lies in honesty and transparency. Loving her fully. Embracing strength and vulnerability. To truly love a woman in her later years is to embrace both her strength and her vulnerability. As women age, their strength becomes more refined, shaped by a lifetime of experiences, but they also retain their vulnerability, which remains an essential part of their identity. Their wisdom, earned through years of living, continues to grow, but so does their desire for personal and emotional growth. These two aspects, strength and vulnerability, are not contradictions. They coexist harmoniously and are integral to their emotional well-being. A loving partner understands that women's desires do not vanish with age, they evolve. These desires may take on new forms, becoming deeper and more profound, but they are no less powerful. Women, especially as they age, may seek a sense of emotional intimacy that is rooted in genuine connection, one that transcends the superficial aspects of love. This emotional intimacy requires more than just physical affection. It demands a deep bond based on mutual respect, trust, and an ongoing commitment to each other's well-being. As a partner, it is essential to stand beside her, not as a passive bystander, but as an active participant in her journey. This involves recognizing that her experiences have shaped her, just as your experiences have shaped you. By respecting her evolving needs, you not only nurture the relationship, but also rediscover its vitality, beauty, and enduring power. In doing so, you create a bond that is not merely built on affection, but on mutual understanding, shared growth, and a genuine appreciation for each other's uniqueness. The need for authentic communication. One of the most vital components of any successful relationship, particularly in the later stages of life, is communication. But it is not enough to simply talk. It is essential to communicate authentically and openly. Emotional transparency creates an environment in which both partners feel safe and understood. It allows for vulnerability, which is often difficult for many men but is critical in maintaining intimacy. Women, especially as they age, do not seek to be controlled or dominated. They seek an equal partnership where both individuals can express themselves freely, and their needs are met with understanding and compassion. In these relationships, the exchange of emotions and the sharing of life's experiences becomes an intimate dance, one that deepens with time and builds a foundation of trust. When emotional communication is clear and honest, both partners can navigate the inevitable challenges of aging together, knowing that they have each other's support. Without this transparency, even small misunderstandings can become obstacles, creating emotional distance where there was once closeness. The realities of age gaps in relationships. Relationships with significant age gaps bring their own set of challenges, and these challenges must not be ignored. For many younger women involved in these relationships, the dynamics may not resemble the fairy tale romance that the older man envisions. Instead, the younger woman may be seeking different things, such as financial stability, social elevation, or superficial attraction, rather than deep emotional connection. These differing motivations can create an unstable foundation for the relationship, one that lacks the mutual understanding necessary to thrive. The older man may yearn for emotional depth and intimacy, while the younger woman may be more focused on her own ambitions and goals. The generational gap is often a formidable barrier that cannot be easily bridged, even by genuine affection or shared experiences. When these differences inevitably come to the surface, they can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and ultimately, heartbreak. The older man may find himself disillusioned when he realizes that the deep emotional bond he envisioned was never fully mutual. The younger woman's focus may shift elsewhere, leaving him feeling undervalued and questioning the authenticity of the connection. Mismatched expectations and the search for validation. For older men in relationships with much younger women, the risk of disappointment is high. Many of these relationships are driven not by a genuine desire for a long-term partnership, but by the need for validation. The older man may be seeking to recapture his youth, to feel more relevant, or to escape the realities of aging. These emotional needs can cloud the relationship and prevent both partners from fully connecting on an authentic level. The real question to ask before pursuing such a relationship is whether the desire is rooted in a genuine need for companionship or an attempt to escape the natural process of aging. Are you looking for a partner who will support you and grow with you? Or are you trying to fill an emotional void that cannot be satisfied by anyone else? Embracing self-awareness and honoring the present stage of life. True happiness in later life comes from embracing who you are. The wisdom and grace that come with age are not burdens to be hidden, but treasures to be celebrated. Self-acceptance is key to finding fulfillment, and this acceptance is what lays the foundation for deep, meaningful relationships. By focusing on personal growth, nurturing passions, and seeking authentic connections, men can find true vitality. Not by relying on someone else to fill an emotional gap, but by honoring themselves and their journey. When you are secure in your own sense of self-worth, you are more likely to attract a partner who values you for who you are, not for what you can provide or the illusion you may represent. The role of independence in strengthening the relationship. A woman's desire for independence is not a threat to the relationship. Rather, it is an opportunity for both partners to grow. When a man supports and celebrates his partner's autonomy, he fosters trust and admiration. It shows that he values her as an equal, someone whose goals and dreams are just as important as his own. In a partnership where both individuals are encouraged to pursue their own interests and passions, the relationship flourishes. Rather than creating emotional distance, this dynamic strengthens the bond. It allows both partners to bring their best selves to the relationship, offering more emotional depth and a deeper sense of connection. The complex nature of intimacy in later life. At its core, intimacy in older couples requires much more than the physicality of youthful romance. Physical intimacy, while important, is only one piece of a much larger puzzle. As people grow older, the dynamics of physical closeness inevitably change, and so too must the understanding of how intimacy operates within a relationship. For many older couples, Intimate encounters have evolved from impulsive desire to a thoughtful, patient exchange that requires communication, vulnerability, and mutual consent. Physical changes that come with age, such as decreased stamina or altered body sensitivity, can influence how intimacy unfolds. Yet, these changes don't necessarily mean that intimacy has to fade. Far from it. They mean that partners must adjust their expectations and approach, finding new ways to maintain closeness that respects each other's boundaries and desires. Recognizing that intimacy isn't solely driven by physical desires opens up the opportunity for older couples to engage in deeper, more meaningful connections. In fact, the emotional dimensions of intimacy often take precedence over physical elements as relationships mature. Older couples may find that their sexual needs have shifted over time, or perhaps even decreased. This is a natural and expected part of the aging process. However, this does not equate to a loss of desire for closeness or affection. In fact, many older individuals experience an increase in the desire for emotional connection, tenderness, and shared moments of love, proving that true intimacy involves much more than sex alone. Emotional intimacy becomes the cornerstone of many late-life relationships, solidifying trust and a sense of shared meaning. Emotional and physical boundaries. A delicate balance. As older partners explore intimacy, it is crucial to approach each other's boundaries with sensitivity and care. Emotional and physical boundaries should be communicated openly and respected without judgment. For women, particularly, this becomes even more important. They may feel hesitant to discuss their comfort levels, especially if they have been conditioned in earlier stages of life to accommodate their partner's desires over their own. As men, it is essential to create a space where these conversations can happen naturally and without fear of rejection. In this stage of life, intimacy may not always have the same urgency as it once did. Instead of rushing toward physical intimacy for validation or pleasure, older partners can take the time to truly understand one another's needs: emotional, psychological, and physical. This means asking each other questions, checking in about comfort levels, and listening actively to verbal and nonverbal cues. For instance, a partner may not feel comfortable engaging in physical intimacy due to medical concerns, past trauma, or simply personal preferences. These feelings need to be handled with empathy, ensuring that intimacy becomes a mutual choice, rooted in care and connection rather than pressure or obligation. For some, age brings about a deeper appreciation for the quiet moments of togetherness, the hand-holding, the snuggling, the soft words exchanged during moments of intimacy. These gestures, often overlooked in youth, gain significance as the relationship matures. When a partner embraces these aspects of intimacy, they communicate that love is expressed not just through physical touch but also through emotional vulnerability and shared experiences. Simple, tender acts of affection can become more profound and meaningful as time goes on, offering comfort and reassurance in a way that words alone often cannot. The dangers of misunderstanding. Boundaries. Misunderstandings in intimacy can sometimes lead to unintended emotional harm. In intimate situations, if one partner pushes the other into something they are not ready for, either emotionally or physically, it can create a sense of betrayal or resentment. In some instances, a partner may feel obligated to comply with their partner's wishes, even when doing so contradicts their own feelings or desires. This is where true respect for each other's boundaries becomes incredibly important. For women, the emotional toll of feeling pressured into intimacy or activities that push their boundaries can be immense. Even if the woman initially agrees out of a desire to please her partner, the aftermath of the encounter can leave her feeling emotionally drained or disconnected. The emotional discomfort she experiences can undermine the entire relationship, resulting in feelings of anger, confusion, or even betrayal. Over time, this lack of genuine emotional intimacy can cause a rift, one that is difficult to mend unless both partners are committed to repairing the communication and trust that has been broken. It's important for men in relationships to recognize that intimacy is not something that can be demanded, especially as one partner ages. Instead, it should be a shared experience, one where both people feel safe, comfortable, and valued. For older couples, intimacy should feel less like an expectation and more like a mutual gift, something that both individuals have the space to experience in their own way. Developing trust through mutual respect. Trust is foundational to any healthy relationship, but in later years it becomes especially vital. In older age, both partners often carry with them the wisdom of past relationships, which means they may be more sensitive to the need for trust and emotional security. The deeper emotional layers of intimacy require that both partners feel safe with one another, which can only be achieved through clear and honest communication about their needs, desires, and limits. In the context of intimacy, trust allows both partners to feel open to each other without fear of judgment or harm. It also fosters a sense of emotional safety that makes physical closeness feel natural rather than forced. For older couples, intimacy should be something that enhances their emotional bond and strengthens their connection, rather than something that creates division or confusion. To do this, both partners must prioritize open conversations about boundaries, desires, and emotions, creating an environment where each feels seen and heard. Conclusion: building intimacy through emotional and physical connection. In later life relationships, intimacy is not merely about physical acts. It is about building an emotional connection that honors the unique dynamics and experiences both partners bring to the table. As men age, they must learn to prioritize respect, understanding, and empathy in all aspects of intimacy. This means creating a safe space for open communication about boundaries, desires, and emotional needs. It also involves recognizing the impact that physical and emotional intimacy can have on a relationship, and being mindful of the consequences of pushing boundaries without mutual consent. True intimacy in advanced years is rooted in emotional connection and mutual respect, providing a foundation for a deeper, more meaningful bond that can withstand the test of time. When both partners embrace each other's vulnerabilities and strengths, when they communicate openly and honestly, intimacy becomes a tool for connection rather than just physical pleasure. This shift allows older couples to experience a more profound and lasting love that transcends age, creating a relationship filled with warmth, respect, and genuine emotional fulfillment. By fostering intimacy through both emotional and physical understanding, older couples can cultivate a love that is deep, respectful, and fulfilling, one that will continue to evolve and grow, enriching their lives for years to come.